worthless. What's really important is not the compute. The compute is like a prerequisite. What's really
pleasure to hear that you're setting up in Nairobi. I may be speaking for myself, but I'm also interested in the 50 million fund that you're investing in Kenya. It was not only Shiko who had it.
Opportunistic. The idea is to fund the most ambitious and grounded founders. Fintech, I mean, that's a big, huge topic in infrastructure that is there. Okay, so, not necessarily so easy to innovate, although fintech is big in Europe. We have several fintechs in our portfolio. It's a mobile account. It's a light sort of services like that are basic necessities that will drive huge growth.
And I am a technical founder at Greenscope Analytics, and we deal with its data infrastructure. The gentleman on funding. So do you do pre-seed funding? Because most of these funders, they talk about health overshadowed by every other case study.
All right. So your first question about stages, yeah, the idea is invest from seed to $50K to 1 million, okay, depending on where you're at in the journey. So that's the tickets we're going to invest. About your second question, I mean, I'm not sure I framed correctly the question. Maybe what I wanted to tell you, a project with the Harmonic Group, and the project will be not only to have a fund investing 50 million euros in startups, but also in supporting them.
Close the doors, this door, because it's going to be a bit of a distraction, so that we can start this next section. It will be awesome. And because I've gone this process for security's sake, also it's important that we close that door. 0.5%. 70% of Africa expect a lot from AI. They expect growth, build, and productivity. However, Africa only has less than 1% of the global GDP. And even of that, 50% of it sits in South Africa. If you want to know that in terms of numbers, Africa has 1,200 GPUs. Meta has 20 times that. So there's need to invest more, link innovation to finance to infrastructure. And the AI Hub has been amazing. The Italian government, through the G7, has been amazing in advocating for Africa to be its own role, to take things on its own hands and build for its own context. The ambassador in the morning talked about Africa being able to have its own sovereignty. He used all my favorite words: sovereignty, prosperity, inclusion. So it was very exciting to hear that coming from a G7 member and showing that we are not fighting this by ourselves. We have a partner who is working for us. We have the 5 levels, and we saw that from different people. Ambassador Thigo and other people talked about the 5 levels of AI productivity: data, compute, skills, and trust. We know that Africa has talent in abundance. So but we need to be able to take care of this. And we saw the presentation from AFDB just now that we need to invest in our talent being productive beyond data labelers. And that needs a considerable amount of investment. And they're going to come back later this afternoon to talk about what that looks like. And the session that you just found wrapping up was the people with the money. We had Primo Capital talking about what it means to actually invest on the continent. And I'll not preempt their later presentation, but they were being asked about how practically are they going to deploy this money. So our goal this afternoon is to invite you to be part of this conversation, where our goal is to move from paper to pavement to action to make Africa's AI work for Africa. Thank you very much. It's my distinct pleasure, which this part makes me nervous because I'm not very good at calling protocol, to invite remarks from Mr. Audrey Simek, the Deputy Head of Delegation for the EU delegation in Kenya. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I must say I completely love this room, the colors and the energy in the room. I think immediately it tells you this is startups, this is about young people, and it's really a great pleasure to be here. Minister Kabogo, Minister Bernini, Special Envoy Tigo, colleagues from UNDP and also from the diplomatic missions, Ambassador of Italy, all of you, ladies and gentlemen, private sector representatives, all the young people with the ambitions to push the future. Great pleasure to be here today on behalf of the European Union. I want to start by thanking the government of Kenya and the government of Italy and also UNDP for convening this very timely and I think also rather unique forum, particularly here in this setup. We as the EU are a committed ally in building a future where AI serves people and not the other way around. A future where AI is a foundation for societal transformation that is firmly connected to values that are important to all of us: fairness, justice, and equity. Africa's and Kenya's role in the global AI ecosystem are indispensable. This is the youngest continent with a rapidly growing digital ecosystem. Countries in Africa have not only the opportunity to adopt AI, but also to shape its own terms, reflect local languages, data, realities, and priorities. The European Union's engagement on AI is guided by our international digital strategy that was adopted in 2025. That strategy underlines that partnering with African countries on AI and building bridges between our respective AI ecosystems is key for us. It's key for the EU's global digital vision. In Kenya, our Team Europe, the EU institutions and the member states, have the pleasure of supporting the development of Kenya's artificial intelligence strategy that was launched in March 2025. And it is initiatives like the AI Hub for Sustainable Development that bring Kenya closer to meeting its own ambitious goals, being a global leader in artificial intelligence. We see the AI Hub for Sustainable Development as a natural partner, and we support the initiatives launched by the Hub, aiming to foster partnerships and collaboration frameworks in Africa, while strengthening also local AI innovation, so that countries and societies across the continent can truly benefit. The EU's AI office sits on the board of the AI Hub, offering our experience as a way of providing strategic guidance. Here in Kenya, we are keen to work with the Hub in a complementary way, aligning investments, standards, and expertise. As a priority, we know that having the right infrastructure and successful and sufficient access to compute are key. Africa needs some 2.1 billion euros in compute infrastructure investment by 2030 to unlock an estimated 1.3 trillion euro in potential gross domestic product GDP gains from AI. Trillion is a massive number. I really can't even imagine how much that is. Without reliable digital infrastructure, energy, cloud capacity, and affordable compute, AI innovation risks remaining concentrated only in few geographic locations. The AI Hub for Development has instruments to address this by enabling immediate access to sellable, sustainable, and affordable AI compute infrastructure. The EU's Global Gateway Strategy also seeks to address this challenge by mobilizing investments in foundational AI infrastructure in Kenya. The EU's International Digital Strategy also recognizes that governments alone cannot deliver inclusive and competitive AI ecosystems. Tech companies are a central actor. We see a strong potential for public-private partnerships through initiatives such as the AI Hub for Sustainable Development, where European companies can collaborate with public and private partners in Kenya and other countries in Africa on shared infrastructure, applied use cases, and skills development. EU companies are interested in working and partnering with AI ecosystems in Africa, not only as markets, but as co-creators of solutions. We will have a visitor in March, the Deputy Director of what we would call the European Ministry for Communications, Networks, Content and Technology, and she will host a roundtable with key AI players in Kenya to build more bridges between our ecosystems. Some work is already underway through the EU-funded program Generative AI for Africa, which focuses on harnessing the power of generative AI to drive innovation in Africa and includes the engagement of private investors to support Africa startups. So there is a lot going on. I hope there will be even more. I want to thank you again for organizing this, the government of Italy, UNDP, and the government of Kenya, and I very much look forward to practical cooperation with Kenya and the rest of the continent in this area. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Our next speaker is somebody who is not new to about majority of this room. Okay, maybe a little new, sorry, I mixed them up. So our next speaker is Senator Anna Maria Beni, Minister of University and Research, Government of Italy. Thank you very much.
You look marvelous.
Pleased to see you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And Happy New Year. I was told that it's local use to say from January to July, Happy New Year to friends. So I'm going to import in Italy this nice habit that brings good luck. So again, Happy New Year to you. Distinguished Minister Kebogo, Ambassador Tigo, my dear friend, Ambassador del Monaco, Excellencies, participants, thank you very much for your resistance. How many hours did you spend in this room? A lot. That means that the topics are interesting. It is worth it. For me, it is really a great honor to take part in this forum, in this AI Forum here in Nairobi, for different reasons. Nairobi is a city that stands today at the crossroads of innovation, talent, and ambition. Artificial intelligence is no longer a technology of the future. It is already shaping the present of our societies. And we have to deal with it, all of us. How we develop it, govern it, and share its benefits will define the future we leave to next generations. Italy approaches artificial intelligence with a clear vision. AI must serve people, strengthen inclusion, and support sustainable development. This vision guides our national policies and our international engagement, particularly with Africa, not for, I repeat it. We are not working for Africa, but with Africa, in Africa, together. Partnership means sharing, and that's what we're doing. Innovation, youth, and knowledge in Africa represent a powerful driver of shared growth. In recent years, Italy has made unprecedented investments to build a robust, open, and responsible AI ecosystem. Through our funds, we have mobilized over 11 billion euros to strengthen research, innovation, and advanced skills. That's what we did. At the core of this strategy lies the National Center for HPC, Big Data, and Quantum Computing, supported by more than 320 million euros for the moment. We're going to implement it. We already implemented it, which provides the computational backbone for cutting-edge artificial intelligence research. In Bologna, at the heart of one of Europe's most advanced scientific hubs, with the support of the European Commission that we thank, Italy has launched the Italia AI Factory, a flagship initiative with an investment of approximately 420 million euros for the moment. We're going to implement it. Designed to connect world-class computing power with researchers, startups, industry, and public administrations. This is not only an infrastructure, but a place where innovation is translated into solutions with real social and economic impacts. Alongside this, Italy supports advanced AI research through initiatives such as FAIR, an acronym which means Future Artificial Intelligence Research, and promotes ethical, transparent, and human-centered AI in line with European and, I would say, common values. We are also working to host one of the future European AI gigafactories, reinforcing technological domestic sovereignty while keeping international cooperation at the core of our approach. However, infrastructure alone is not enough. That's what we said, didn't we, Ambassador Tigo? We need human capital, young, with young brain human capital. Artificial intelligence ultimately depends on people, skills, knowledge, and responsibility. For this reason, we place particular emphasis on education, training, and capacity building as essential pillars of its AI strategy. In this perspective, Italy is proud to host the United Nations University Institute for Artificial Intelligence, recently established in Bologna. The Institute represents a strategic investment in advanced education, research and policy dialogue on artificial intelligence, with a strong focus on supporting developing countries and fostering inclusive and sustainable AI solutions. It embodies our conviction that global challenges require global knowledge, and that capacity building is the true enabler of technological sovereignty and responsible innovation. But let me be clear, Italy does not see AI leadership as a zero-sum game. We believe that the true potential of artificial intelligence lies in cooperation across disciplines, borders, and continents. This is why we see Africa and Kenya in particular as a key partner. Together, we can apply AI to address concrete challenges, from climate resilience and food security to health, education, smart city, blue economy, green economy, whatever you can think we have. And public services, of course. Artificial intelligence gives us extraordinary tools. Our responsibility is to give them direction, direction towards equity rather than exclusion, direction towards opportunity rather than concentration, direction towards innovation that empowers societies rather than fragmenting them. Let me conclude by expressing a simple but strong conviction. The future of AI will not be defined only by algorithms and computing power, but by the people we train, the institution we build, and the values we choose to uphold. Italy is ready to work with Kenya because we share the same vision, I know we do, and with all partners represented here today to ensure that artificial intelligence becomes a force for shared progress, innovative, ethical, and profoundly profoundly human. Thank you so much.
That was very beautiful. Grazie.
Thank you so much, Minister. I know I totally butchered your name, but thank you so much. So I just want to say thank you because the Minister, you've seen she has a huge research agenda. Through the UNDP, they're sponsoring the research colloquium in India. So I'm really grateful for that. And thank you for bringing Africa at the center of India Impact Summit, especially our research capacity and building on it. Thank you so much. Now, I have to present this role since I don't want to be kicked out of Kenya. The person who's just about to come is somebody who's not new to many of us. We have seen him on TV, at least I've seen him on TV many, many times. I have the pleasure of inviting our Honorable, His ex-government, Kenya. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Shiko, and good afternoon to all of you. Hello? Can you see me? Excellent. Shiko, you mentioned that Africa is not doing so well on this front, and I agree with you, but not for too long. Africa is on the table to share with the rest of the world. And someone tells me, if you're not on the table sharing, you are also probably on the table on the menu. So Africa is up, and with friends like Italy, we shall get there. As I sat there, I asked my best teacher, one of those AI tools, what is the population of the young in Africa? And it says it's 19% now. And by 2030, it may be 42%. So there lies an opportunity of a market. So Africa is not going to be pitied. We're asking to be on the table, and we appreciate friends like Italy. I'll be promising to be of good behavior, because I have seen a couple of minutes ago you were with my boss, and you may have taken his number. So if I don't behave well, you may call him and I'm out of job in a short while. So, Your Excellency, Senator Anna Maria, Professor Shaukat, I'm not sure he's here, Ambassador Philip Tico, Ambassador Balozi wa Italy, rafiki yangu, distinguished representatives of Italian and Kenyan universities and research institutions, and esteemed delegates, good afternoon. It is an honor and privilege to address the Nairobi Ai Forum 2026, convened under the AI Hub for Sustainable Development. Allow me at the onset to express Kenya's sincere appreciation to the government of Italy for its sustained partnership and leadership in advancing international cooperation on science, innovation, and responsible technology development. Kenya also recognizes the United Nations Development Programme, the European Union, and all partners who have supported in convening of this forum, bringing together policymakers, researchers, innovators, financiers, and industry leaders. This forum represents a strategic shift from the conversations about the promise of artificial intelligence to the practical work of building the foundations that will enable adoption at scale and deliver real impact. In that regard, Nairobi is hosting a platform for implementation. Under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, Kenya is prioritizing innovation-driven growth, knowledge-based industries, and digital infrastructure as key engines for employment creation, productivity, and inclusive prosperity. AI is increasingly central to this agenda, not as an abstract concept, but as a practical enabler of improved public service delivery and stronger national competitiveness. Kenya is already recognized as a regional leader in innovation ecosystems, digital public service, and fintech. However, we also recognize that the next phase of progress will require stronger research capacity, deeper university-industry collaboration, and expanded international partnerships that can support innovation at scale. Last year, Kenya launched the National AI Strategy 2025-2030 as a roadmap to unite responsible adoption and innovation. Our ambition is to build a national ecosystem that supports AI research, model development, and global solutions that respond to Kenya's development priorities. The strategy places strong emphasis on strengthening national research and development capacity, deepening university-industry collaboration, and supporting the growth and scaling of local AI enterprises. At the same time, it recognizes that Kenya's competitiveness will ultimately depend on its people. Kenya is therefore strengthening the full talent pipeline from foundational digital and AI skill in schools to specialized training in tertiary institutions and industry, supported by partnerships that promote practical exposure and job placements. In this regard, Kenya welcomes deeper collaboration with Italy and all partners represented here through joint research programs, postgraduate training, researcher mobility, co-supervision of doctoral work, faculty exchanges, and establishment of joint innovation laboratories linking our universities and our research institutions. Distinguished guests, Kenya congratulates Italy on the launch of the AI Hub for Sustainable Development in Rome, June 2025, under the leadership of the Government of Italy and the United Nations Development Programme, where Kenya holds a board position. We view this hub as a strategic platform for strengthening Africa's capabilities in compute, data, and talent, and for building partnerships that accelerate real-world adoption of AI in a fair and sustainable manner. The Nairobi Ai Forum 2026 is therefore a practical extension of that vision. It reflects our shared commitment to accelerate adoption and impact and to build AI ecosystems that are green, scalable, and sovereign. This forum is particularly significant because it brings together the full ecosystem required for scale, governments that can provide enabling policy frameworks, researchers who can advance knowledge and innovation, entrepreneurs who can build solutions, and financiers who can support deployment and growth. It recognizes that Africa's AI future will be defined by a collective ability to invest in infrastructure, strengthen institutions, and enable practical adoptions across sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to artificial intelligence, Kenya is also keen to strengthen partnerships in space, science, and space-enabled innovations. Space-based systems are increasingly central to Earth observation, climate monitoring, agricultural productivity, disaster preparedness, environmental management, and infrastructural planning. The convergence of AI and satellite data presents an opportunity to unlock predictive intelligence that can strengthen food security and resilience across the continent. Ultimately, AI must translate into real impact, better services, stronger productivity, and more jobs. Kenya therefore welcomes partnerships that move innovations from the lab to the market and scale solutions across the economy. I am particularly encouraged that over the next 2 days, or rather in the next 1 day, we will showcase practical initiatives and partnerships aimed at strengthening innovation financing, supporting responsible adoption, and building resilience through trusted digital infrastructure. As Kenya and Italy approach the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations. This gathering is an important opportunity to deepen cooperation not only between our two countries, but also across Africa and our international partners in shaping an AI future that is inclusive, sustainable, and beneficial to all. Kenya remains committed to working with all stakeholders represented here today to ensure that artificial intelligence become a tool for development, competitiveness, and opportunity for our people. I thank you.
You ready?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Am I audible? I've told them to put me in charge of my mic. Thank you so much, honorable ministers, for your excellent remarks. This is exactly what we need to hear. I was startups and innovators and private sector. I was just thanking the honorable ministers for being here with us. And their words of encouragement are indeed what we wanted to hear today. This morning was excellent, where we spoke in the Nairobi Ai Forum about AI infrastructure, the reimagination of partnerships, and the financing. And we had some excellent conversation where the African Development Bank presented the economic case and made some really dramatic commitments of what needs to happen to re-architect the continent's financial infrastructure. So we are moving into a very exciting part of the afternoon where we have demonstrations of the reimagined partnerships and commitments in action, some very, very important announcements coming up that show how the new era of intelligence-based partnerships can accelerate progress. And we want to thank Minister Senator Anna Maria Baronini, Minister Kabogo, Government of Kenya, for joining us. Thank you so much, Your Excellencies. Great. Well, for this, I actually wanted to invite my colleague, Ms. Maria Julia, the management team of the AI Hub for Sustainable Development, to please kindly kick us off on this segment.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Wow, what a great view from here. You're all looking great. Thank you so much for being here today with us. My name is Giulia Vitaiano, and I am part of the management team at the AI Hub for Sustainable Development. And I am so honored to kick off this inspiring and very exciting session that we have right now with so many incredible leaders from the private sector.